Okay, so just go ahead and talk about both your number and about physically what this is.
Okay. This started as a very, very severe pain when I was walking, and so I went to the urgent care, and it turns out to be fairly simple, just a bone spur. The doctor described it as a witch's nose, which had an interesting imagery effect in itself. And then when I saw the X-ray, it's this very long sort of fragment protrusion off my heel. The image of the X-ray was something that just physically I kept shuddering when I thought of that image, and it just stayed with me for probably several days of my just saying, okay, don't think of the X-ray, breathe, relax. So the emotional aspect of that image was very high, like a 9 or a 10. I mean, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress in the stomach area because of that. The physical pain, though, they had prescribed me with this anti-inflammatory. I took it for like a day, and that was it. I didn't have to take it I didn't have to take any further. But the real thing that helped was this little, rubbery insert that, absorbs the cushion and creates a little shock and barrier, a shock absorber is what I want to say. And so typically the pain is, anywhere from a 0. The 0 is like, wow, this is awesome, I don't feel it right now. Most of the time it's around a 1 or a 2 of just being conscious of my heel, of the presence there, conscious of how to walk just a little bit more differently and not exacerbate it. But so far it's been really not much of an issue at this point, except for this, yes, it's there in my awareness almost all the time.
Yes, okay, so it's there in your awareness all the time. It's linked to that X-ray, which is really emotional. You do have some physical pain, maybe 1 or 2, most of the time.
Right.
But emotionally, it's present even when it's not a high number.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's first work on the X-ray.
Okay.
And let's work on it in present tense to make it as intense as possible. So rather than saying, I looked at the X-ray, let's say, I am now looking at the X-ray.
I am now looking at the X-ray.
And I'm seeing?
And I am seeing the protrusion of the bone in the bottom of my heel.
And I'm feeling?
And it's actually hard to describe what I'm feeling. It's a lot of anxiety. Fear, too. Could this be happening on my other heel? Could it be happening where a friend of mine had it or has it on his neck? So there's actually a significant amount of fear around, oh, hey, it's my birthday today, by the way. I've turned 56. It actually is my birthday today. My body is falling apart. What's going on here? So there's a lot of fear, and also, what can I do preventatively to make sure this doesn't continue happening in other places?
Even though my body is falling apart.
Thanks.
Just happy to help on your birthday, So
yes, really.
My birthday present to you.
Thank you. Even though my body is falling apart.
And the process of degeneration will probably accelerate.
And the process of degeneration will probably accelerate
till I'm utterly decrepit.
till I am utterly decrepit.
I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
That decrepit old man.
Ah, that decrepit old man. Oh my.
My body is falling apart.
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 Now let's just do the 9 gamut, and we'll do the eye movement part of that, and we'll do it, and we'll focus on that possibility and also other possibilities. So follow my pen. So move your eyes. My body is falling apart.
My body is falling apart.
My body is not falling apart.
My body is not falling apart.
My body may be falling apart.
My body may be falling apart.
My body may not be falling apart.
My body may not be falling apart.
My body has remarkable self-healing abilities.
My body has remarkable self-healing abilities.
And my body can heal all by itself.
My body can heal all by itself.
And maybe it can't.
And maybe it can't.
And either way,
I
love and accept myself
I love and accept myself
at this age and every age.
at this age and every age.
Okay, eyes the other direction. I love and accept myself
I love and accept myself
with the fear,
with the fear,
with the pain.
with the pain.
It might get worse.
It might get worse.
It might get better.
It might get better.
I might be falling apart.
I might be falling apart.
I might not be falling apart.
I might not be falling apart.
Either way, I know
Either way, I know
the most important thing is to love myself.
the most important thing is to love myself.
The version of myself falling apart
The version of myself falling apart
and the version of myself not falling apart.
and the version of myself not falling apart.
Okay, take a breath. And let's just tap on all the points again. And this time, just maybe don't say anything, just tap on top of the head point, eyebrow points, side of the eye point. Just notice any feelings in your body. It might be warm, cold, maybe changing, maybe shifting. Collarbone points, underarms, so tapping in and just go back to that moment of looking at the x-ray and seeing what your level of fear is now with that image. So I'm looking at the x-ray right now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what's your number around the x-ray?
It's probably about 3 or 4.
Okay. And it's a 3 or 4 because
It's a 3 or 4 because I can't actually accept, I can't really believe that this happened to me.
even though I can't accept this happened to me,
Even though I can't accept that this happened to me,
I can't believe this happened to me,
I can't believe it's happened to me.
a bone spur grew out of nowhere.
Yes, and bone spur grew out of nowhere.
Not just any old bone spur, but a witch's nose.
Not just any old bone spur, but a witch's nose.
Why do I, of all people, have to get a witch's nose bone spur?
Why, of all people, do I have to get a witch's nose bone spur?
Growing out of nowhere,
Growing out of nowhere,
visible on the x-ray.
visible on the x-ray.
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
And maybe another one will grow on my other foot.
Maybe another one will grow on my other foot.
Maybe one will grow on my neck.
Maybe one will grow on my neck.
I know it's possible. I had a friend that happened to him.
I know it's possible. I had a friend that happened to.
Yeah. So it's quite possible I could be growing bone spurs all over the place.
It's quite possible that I could be growing bone spurs all over the place.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
Either way,
Either way,
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
With bone spurs growing out all over me,
Or with bone spurs growing out all over me.
or bone spurs not growing at all.
Or bone spurs not growing at all.
That may be going away.
That may be going away.
Maybe going away.
Maybe going away.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Either way,
Either way,
I love and accept
I
myself.
love and accept myself.
Okay. My body healing.
My body healing.
My body not healing.
My body not healing.
Not healing.
Not healing.
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 It is healing.
It is healing.
It's not healing.
It's not healing.
It's always healing.
It's always healing.
It's never healing.
It's never healing.
It may be healing.
It may be healing.
May not be healing.
May not be healing.
May be healed now.
May be healed now.
May not be healed now.
May not be healed now.
May heal in the future.
May heal in the future.
May not heal in the future.
May not heal in the future.
Either way,
Either way,
I completely love and accept Mark.
I completely love and accept Mark.
He is doing his best.
He is doing his best.
And he has some fears,
He has some fears,
and I still love and accept him.
and I still love and accept him.
With those fears and without them.
Without those fears and that.
I love and accept me,
I love and accept me,
with or without those fears.
with or without those fears.
Those fears might get worse.
Those fears might get worse.
My worst imaginings might come to pass.
My worst imaginings might come to pass.
And if that happens,
And if that happens,
I choose to accept myself.
I choose to accept myself.
None of my fears may materialize.
None of my fears may materialize,
And I love and accept that version of me.
and I love and accept that version of me.
I love and accept all versions of Mark.
I love and accept all versions of Mark.
I love and accept all versions of me.
I love and accept all versions of me.
Okay, just take a breath and see how you feel. Think about the x-ray, about the image of the x-ray, and get a number for...
Yeah, basically a 0 at
Okay.
this point. I love and accept my bone spur.
I love and accept my bone spur.
Yeah, I love and
whatever my
accept my
body
bone
does,
spur,
I love and accept my
yeah.
bone spur, yeah.
Yeah.
My body doing its thing.
Yep. My body doing its thing.
Yeah, yeah. And my body's doing its best. How's that for a good
Yeah, my
affirmation?
body's
doing
doing
its
its
best.
best.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I have this bone spur and my body's doing its best.
I have this bone spur and my body's doing its best.
My body's doing its best.
My body is doing its best.
My body's always doing its best.
My body is always doing its best.
Doing its best to heal.
Doing its best to heal.
And I do generally heal.
And I do generally heal.
I do generally heal.
I do generally heal.
Automatically and without thinking about it.
Automatically and without thinking about it.
That's why this x-ray was such a shock.
That's why this x-ray was such a shock.
Because I wasn't expecting to see that witch's
Because
nose.
I wasn't expecting to see a witch's nose.
And I did.
And I did.
And I still trust my body,
And I still trust my body,
which is doing its best.
which is doing its best.
Okay, just stop tapping, take a breath. So how about the strength of that belief that my body is falling apart?
Sorry, say that again.
How strong is your belief now
Oh.
around that?
No, I do not believe my body is falling apart.
Good. I do not believe my body is falling apart. Tell everyone. Tell them loudly.
I do not believe my body is falling apart.
I'm 56, it's my birthday,
I'm 56, it's my birthday,
and my body is not falling apart.
and my body is not falling apart.
Do you believe him? See, there's strength, there's passion behind that
Yes.
declaration.
Yes.
Just say it again, louder.
I am 56 today, and I believe my body is not falling apart.
And neither do we. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, just listen.
Whoops.
You.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark. Happy birthday to you.